Hey everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of the Stash Report from the Stash Project. This is our special Shizouka Hobby Show, pre-show, special edition, extra, whatnot. You get the gist. We're breaking this out specifically because it covers just the kits that have been announced for the Shizouka Hobby Show. This will basically be a sort of a second quarter type of deal, a little bit of third quarter, I suppose. In the sense that July, September, well, yeah, I guess it is technically 1 month of the third quarter here. All of the release dates that I'm going to give you, because I'm just going to read you basically everything that there was to be announced by the months that they say that the kits are going to be released. Be aware, the release dates are subject to change. That being said, I would think that the majority of these are actually pretty close to being the correct date due to the amount of development work that would have gone on with certain kits, especially the Aoshima stuff, in advance because, well, as we go through, I'll explain it. But none of them are like clean sheet announcements. Basically, some of the stuff we've already talked about, some of the stuff we've speculated about. There is one wholly new tool from Hasegawa for the Shizouka Hobby Show that I think caught a lot of people off guard in terms of the subject matter. Not from so much that it doesn't deserve to be done as much as it's not the company you would have thought was going to be doing it. And so let's just plow headlong into this. We're going to start in the month of May, and these are going to be all Aoshima kits. The one kit that's sort of outside of any of the other series, because a lot of the stuff is going to be, again, in that new, the model car, the Toon model car, the Toon parts series that they've been doing, and that is a supercar. And that would be the release of the Lamborghini Diablo GTR. This is the racing version of the Lamborghini Diablo GT kit that came out right before the end of 2016. In real life, there were 30 of these race cars made for a one-make race series. It was like the Diablo GTR Challenge or something like that. This kit requires a number of new parts. It's probably about maybe 65% new. The body is different. The interior, obviously, a race interior is different. There are different wheels. The top half of the engine is different. It's a race engine rather than the street engine. The chassis will probably more, the chassis plate itself and the suspension components and things like that are probably more or less the same, as it wasn't a huge difference between the road car and the race car, being that the road car was a limited edition, almost race car as it is. The reason why I am subject to believing this may not come out in May, but it probably would be in June or July. It certainly won't be one of those Aoshima kits that lags out well past its release date. Into, oh, hey, look, we're at the All Japan Hobby Show in October, and this kit still hasn't come out, is because the Diablos were in development, again, ahead of the Hurricane. The Hurricane had to come out first, and the Diablos got pushed back. So really, this GTR, this race version, should have been the kit that came out at the end of the year, because the Diablo should have been, the GT streetcar should have been the summer kit instead of the Hurricane. So the development is done. The tooling was done at the same time as the Diablo GT, obviously, and they have built, final production shots of the thing in existence already. So while May, yeah, we'll see, because I don't know, we're halfway through April as it is. So anytime you tell me that you announce something and all of a sudden the next month it's going to come out. Especially with Aoshima's, ability to sort of drag things out forever, as it were. I might not believe it. You might be not willing to believe it, but like I said, development's been done for a while. Starting out in the model car series, again, all for May, the 2015 Toyota Crown Athlete. Now, we had speculated, in based knowledge, because I own all of them, that when they made a new 2015 spec Toyota Crown Royal Saloon, that the Crown Athlete was coming as soon as possible afterwards, because those kits have come out in pairs for 12 years now. So this is that kit. Have a new front bumper, a new grille, new headlights, new headlight buckets, new front glass, as it were, as well as new rear tail lights. Beyond that, most of the kit carries over the way the Crown Royal Saloon did. So not a shock at all to see this. Actually surprised it lingered as long as it did. I would have thought it would come out sooner than that. And then you're going to reissue their 1979 Nissan Cedric Gloria 430 kits. These are the newer Cedric Gloria kits that were done in like 2012. They were separate kits. The Cedric was one, the Gloria was another. They're going to package all of the parts together in this kit so that you can build one or the other. You're not going to build two, but you'll be able to pick whichever one you want to. They're going to also reissue the 1979 Toyota Corolla GT DX. Again, this is a situation where these two were separate kits in the past with just minor trim differences, and both kits will be packaged into one. And then the last kit out of the model car series here is the 1970 Nissan Skyline 2000 GT. They're calling it a GTR. For some reason, everybody calls that four-door 70 Skyline a GTR, when of course it's not, because Skylines were two-door cars. And so that's a reissue, just a straight reissue of an existing kit with, I don't believe anything new in it. I think they're saying that it has new decals, but beyond that, it's just one of those old best car vintage kits. In the tuned model car series, you're going to get a reissue of the 1997 Toyota Celsior in the Auto Couture VIP series, the Top Secret S15 Sylvia tuner, the 1999 Toyota Hiace Asmax, which is a VIP van, and the let me see here. Yes, the 1998 BN Sports Toyota Mark II Tourer 5. Now this, I'm not sure this is technically the Drift Grand Prix car or not. I'd have to like dig up pictures of both of them, but it is something similar to that, where it is a sort of a tuner version of the Mark II rather than being a VIP car. And then they're going to be reissuing wheels every month for the end of the second quarter and beginning of the third quarter. And these wheels are on top of the wheels that they're going to be rerunning in May. We talked about before some of the wheel sets from earlier in the year that are already sold out. In the 20-inch VIP wheel sets, they're going to be reissuing the Traffic Star RTS and the Traffic Star RTM, as well as the Lee and Hardrit Waffe, and the Glass and Heist Dissix Revo. If you know what those wheels are, you know more than I do. I mean, I know what they look like by pictures, but I'm not that big a wheel guy in the first place. And then in the 14-inch wheel sets, they're continuing this. They have sold so well, they're going to just keep reissuing them. They're going to reissue the Focus Racing wheels, the Bilbo wheels, the 8-spoke Watanabes. Now, these are like a sort of a deep dish, if you will, Watanabe in a 14-inch wheel size, and Racing Heart wheels. So those will be coming up shortly in May. I'm just looking at something. I wrote something down in the wrong place, but that's all right. Moving on to June. So all of the stuff for Aoshima in June are reissues. Some of these have some new parts added to them, and we'll cover them as we go through them. But again, a lot of what was on this flyer from Aoshima was just stuff that's being packaged into the Tune Model Car and Model Car series. In the Model Car series, reissue of the 1971 Skyline 2000 GT. Existing kit. The interesting thing about this is the kit itself on the box art for the kit, as well as the picture they're using online, shows it with like the full hubcaps of just sort of a base trim Skyline. And the kit itself, the last time it was reissued, did not have those wheels in it. It had sort of a weird BBS mesh sort of wheels that weren't really BBS. What will come this time, I don't know. There's nothing about the new wheels being in this kit as far as the description, because they're going to be, as we go through the see, they're going to be reissuing a lot of Skylines. It is sort of the 60th anniversary of the Skyline name this year. Next year will be the 50th anniversary of the original GTR. So expect to be Skylined pretty heavily over the next 2 years, really. Like I said, in the kits that are going to have some, one more before we go into the new parts kits. They're going to also reissue their KPGC 110 Phantom Ken Mary Racing GTR. So this is a 73 GTR in that body style in a Phantom Racing livery. This would sort of kind of be like the Liberty Walk kit, except this is more of a tribute race car type of deal. They reissued this kit actually not that long ago. It may have been in the last 6 months, I want to say, but it's being packaged into this model car series. And then these kits are going to have some new parts. They're going to have some new front and rear fascia additions or subtractions, however you want to look at it, as well as new full steel wheel covers, sort of hubcap style wheel covers. And I don't know that they're necessarily new tires, but they're going to have what they're considered to be appropriate size tires included for a factory stock build. And they are the 1972 Nissan Skyline 2000 GT and the 1974 Nissan Skyline 2000 GTX. Both of those are 2 doors. The 71, by the way, is a 4-door. In the tuned model car series, we're going to get a reissue of the 1999 Mazda Speed FD3S RX-7 A-Spec, a reissue of the 2010 Toyota Hiace in the Silk Blaze VIP van. Not been that long since that's been reissued, but it's, like I said, getting packaged in the new packaging line. Reissue of the 1985 Toyota 86 Truno in the N2, the Nuremberg 2 spec. That kit does not have the engine insert. And a reissue of the 1978 Toyota Hilux Custom. This is sort of the lowrider version that goes along with that, late 70s Nissan pickup truck they do as well. More wheels. 19-inch wheel sets in the month of June. Advan RS, AVS Model T6, Enki GTC01s, and Volk RE30s. And then more VIP wheels in the 20-inch wheel. Lion Hardrit Bugles, Work Varenza F2S, SSR Warfen GT03s, and Club Linea L566s. Over to Hasegawa. They're going to be, in the month of June, doing the Honda 360 N360T, otherwise known as the N2 Touring. This is the 3rd tooling variant of that little Honda N360 tooling. Basically, you get a new grille here. That's the only new part. And that'll transform it into this touring series version of the N360, what they call the sports version, if you will. It still doesn't use the suspension pieces. Maybe it does, and they're just in these are the suspension pieces that never got used in the N361 and the N362. But it'll remain to be seen if they use if that's what those suspension parts are. If not, there's still another version coming. They're going to reissue their Toyota Corolla for the 1998 Monte Carlo Rally winning car, as well as the Lancia 037 in a 1983 San Remo livery, and then the new toolkit from Hasegawa, the BMW 2002 Tii. Let that sink in for a second. Hasegawa, Japanese model company. You look at their historic car series, all Japanese cars. You would expect this to be the Revell of Germany, would you not? Yeah, I guess Hasegawa got tired of waiting for Revell of Germany to get off its collective fat ass and do something. So yeah, they're going to do a 2002 Tii. This kit will be a curbside. I know that'll offend some people, but get over yourselves. Do you want a 2002 or not? This kit will come with a couple different sets of front bumper guards, 2 sets of mirrors, I believe 2 sets of taillights, or at least a modification to a set of taillights that will allow you to build this car either as a 1971 early spec or a 1973 late spec. Also, if you've learned nothing in the watching of these videos over the last 2.5 years, you ought to know by now that any tool that the Japanese kit companies do is not a single variant tooling. There's always going to be something else coming out. So it would not surprise me at all to see a post-1973 2002 Turbo. Race card, I don't know. We'll have to see what the tooling looks like, see how easy that would be to convert over. But expect at least 1 or maybe 2 more variants of this kit, of this tooling, before it's all said and done with. So you will get a wide variety of BMW 2002s. And that is a very, very exciting kit announcement, just because it's probably one of the most requested European cars. And for some reason, like I said, Revell of Germany does not seem to be interested in it. I don't know what the excuse would be. You say, oh, well, BMW licensing is expensive. Well, BMAX managed to get the E30 M3 out. There's now this Hasegawa BMW. The BMAX Brabham BT56 is a BMW powered vehicle that will be full detail and have an engine. You have the Revell of Germany has done BMWs. They did the i8. They did the last DTM M3 car, right? It's an M3, right? Yeah, I thought so. I was gonna say they're moving it to the M6 or the M4 for the current season, but yeah, it was still the M3 back in 2012 when that kit was done. So it's not like they don't have a BMW license, right? Whatever. Maybe they'll get a 3.0 out. There's a couple of there's something there, but they definitely got beat to the punch there, and frankly don't care. Gonna buy the Hasegawa kit. Gonna buy all three of the Hasegawa kits and enjoy every single one of them because I'm tired of waiting on people to decide what they're doing. I would rather have had a full detail 2002 Tii from Revell of Germany than a Porsche Panamera. Don't get me wrong, I'm going to buy that Porsche Panamera, but really, comparing the two, I'd take the 2002. So Hasegawa gets the money here. Moving on to July of 2017, and these will be the last kit announcements. BMAX, the BT52, Brabham F1 car, which will be the next new tool BMAX kit. That is going to come out in July. It's going to be in the 1983 Monaco Grand Prix livery. Full detail kit. There, of course, will be a detail upset for it, the way there are with all BMAX kits. We have talked about that 84 the 84 Corolla rally car for the Rally of Portugal. I have some pictures for that. We're going to talk more about that on the Friday show because it's not really an announcement. But pre-orders for that still don't exist anywhere outside of China, outside of Hobby Easy. So it'd be interesting to see what the release date is supposed to be for that. It hasn't moved. It still says April 20th, which would put it like May. But as of right now, there's nothing about it in the Aoshima distribution, paperwork, if you will, because Aoshima distributes all of BMAX's kits. So, we'll see where that goes, and we'll talk more about it in another video. So, in July 2017, other than the BMAX kit, you have over at Hasegawa the next version of the Suzuki Jimny. This is going to be the JA11-1. This backdates the car actually to 1990 specifications. The kit that came out at the end of last year was a 1995 specification. You're going to get a new grille, new bumper, new mirrors, new steering wheel, and a new stick shift in that. So a little bit of a few parts there. Reissue of the Volkswagen Type 2 cargo van. You know where this is going, don't you? It's the Egg Girls. Yes, more semi-naked schoolgirls on your Volkswagen Type 2. Man, they are just beating that Type 2 tooling to death with these Egg Girls things. But yes, this will be the Egg Girls summer of 2017 livery. So I've already seen some of the pre-production drawings on this. And there's a girl in a swimsuit with one of those little, it's not a mini sub, but those little... technically, I guess it is a mini sub, but you think of mini sub, you think of like a one-person submarine. But those little swim assists, little motorized swim assists that became so popular via James Bond, and then a reissue of the Fujitsu Tom's Toyota Corolla AE 101 Group A race car. I should believe this is a Japanese touring car championship car. Now, this is another one of these moments, because when this kit was reissued, and it wasn't that long ago, we just talked about it when I did the Inside the Stash when I got this, I think it was 2 episodes ago, right? I said when this kit got reissued and the way they were going with all of their reissuing kits and then reissuing the race car versions of the kits, because they did the Mitsubishi Galant rally car, and then this month they reissued the street car, that when this Corolla was reissued in the street form, do not be surprised at all if there's the race car version coming. Shazam, Hallelujah. There it is. They're going to be retooling the suspension, or at least parts of the suspension, to give it an appropriate race height. This is something they've done to the three-door Civic race car, the EG9 Civic, and we'll be doing with the Ferio-based, the four-door Civic that's in the Japanese Touring Car Championship as well. That kit will get the suspension pieces they tooled up for the three-door hatchback because it's the same chassis, basically. And now they're going to tool up new or revised suspension pieces. The way they did the Civic, it was just new brakes, and the brakes on the back have a camber built into the brakes so that when you mount them, they tilt inwards. And I suppose that'll probably be the same thing you do with this Corolla. But it solves one of the biggest problems of the Corolla in the sense that it looked like a goofy race car when it was just mounted on street suspension height. The four-door Civic has the same problem where it looks like a overgrown street car with big tires. So, like I said, both of those being fixed will be great. But yeah, that's great to see back. There were 3 versions, I think. I found 3 boxings of the Celica. There's this Fujitsu Tom's racing team, and then there is a Trampio racing team, which is funny because they had raced a Civic a couple years earlier, and then apparently switched to Toyotas. And then there's a Landmark livery as well. So we'll see if they reissue any or all of those other kits, of the other 2 of them as time goes along. Talked to Frankie over SK. There are some Gia Race of Macau decals he'd like to do, but of course, right now he's up to his eyeballs in M3 trans kits and M3 decals and everything else that's going on. So that's a down the line kind of thing. Working on the B-Max Corolla as well as this Corolla are probably a late summer, early fall type project, I would imagine. And then over at Aoshima, as we wrap this one up, the one sort of modified tooling that does not fit into the marketing departments here, and this is going to be a Liberty Walk kit, is the Nissan Skyline, or it's technically not Skyline, Nissan GTR R35 Liberty Walk, or Liberty Works Liberty Walk, version 1. This is the kit that a lot of us expected quite a while ago. When they announced that they were going to be doing work with Liberty Walk, we all thought, "Ooh, we're going to get we're going to get the R35 GTR, we're going to get the Aventador, we're going to get the Murcielago," because all three of those cars were at the current time. What was it? 3 years ago, I guess, or maybe 2.5 years ago. They were all, we're going to get these modern over-fendered cars. We got the Rocket Bunny, we got the Rocket Bunny Toyota 86. Don't have to go out and buy these $80, $90, $110, $125 trans kits from Hobby Design or 8181 or anybody else. You'll be able to get styrene over fenders. It'll be fantastic. And then Aoshima did all of those classic Skylines. They did all the 60 Skylines, all the 70 Skylines, the Laurels, the race cars, and all that stuff. And really, when you announced this stuff, you showed all of the new cars, but you never did any of the new cars. Well, we finally solved at least the one problem of getting the R35 out. Now, will we get will we get the Aventador? Will we get the Murcielago? Who knows? It'd be great. I'd love it. Please, for the love of all that is good and holy, don't ask Aoshima to make the Ferraris. There's only so many Ferrari licenses to go around, apparently, because, Revell Germany can't keep theirs. The only people right now who have an active Ferrari license, to my knowledge, are Fujimi and Tamiya. So, yeah. Aoshima is not going to go ahead and make a Ferrari, the 458. They're not going to make a 458 Ferrari to do that car. If you want to do that car, I think it's 8181, makes the trans kit to convert the Revell of Germany kit, or it might be the Fujimi kit. I'm not sure. I have to go look, and right now I don't particularly care because I'm in the middle of this video. But, yeah, don't ask them to make kits that they don't already have. Ask them to make cars of kits they don't already make. This has sort of been the whole, gag, if you will, of Liberty Walk is remaking old model kits. The R35 obviously is not an old model kit, but this over fendered version of their R35 is a little bit of an older kit. The version 1, I mean, this is probably a 2010 or 2012 R35 that they did that to. Thrilled to have it because, again, I don't have to buy a trans kit to do that. It's always one of those kits, or always one of those cars where it's like, yeah, I'd like to do that. I really would. I kind of like I'm not a big over fender, slambered, cambered kind of guy in the first place, but I kind of like the way the car looks, but I don't want to spend the money on the trans kit. No, $30, I don't have to. So, in the actual series of the marketing series here, in the model car line, they're going to reissue the Subaru Sambar fire truck. And they're like, well, it just came out. What? This is going to be a 2008 Subaru what they're calling a TT2 Sambar. They're going to be tooling up a new front fascia and new rear fascia for it to backdate it to 2008. The actual Sambar kit and the fire apparatus kit are a 2012 Subaru Sambar. This fire apparatus will also have specific livery to build I want to get this right, the Uzumo engine and transmission plant that Subaru has in Japan. So you've always wondered, what in the world do they use these little fire trucks for? And we had speculated, well, it's a great fast attack truck for an alley garbage dumpster fire. We put out Model Cars magazine as it burns to the ground here in the last week, or it's a great industrial fire truck. Again, a nice quick attack truck. And so here, this will represent the actual fire apparatus that is actually used at the engine and transmission plant. Also in the model car lineup here, you've got a reissue of the 1976 Nissan Skyline 2000 GTX. Again, you get a new front rear fascia here, as well as a rear wiper to make the 1976 car accurate. A reissue of the 1977 Nissan Skyline 2000 GT-ES, and this is going to again have new front and rear fascias to update the car. I think it's backdating the car because I think they make an 80 or an 81 already, and so this will be backdating it to 77. And again, both of those cars will have new full wheel cover / hubcaps and appropriate wheel sizes for factory stock. Also going to reissue their 1978 Nissan Cedric Gloria 230s. Now, this is an existing pair of kits that have always been, best car vintage, so, be aware of that. They're basically the generation before the ones they're going to be reissuing in May. In the Tune model car lineup, you've got the 2006 Toyota Estima, which is a minivan, in the fabulous VIP van specification. Reissue of the top secret Nissan Fairlady Z. This is a 350Z. Reissue of the 1991 Toyota Crown Majesta in the K-Brake VIP specification. And a reissue of my personal favorite Nissan Skyline, and that is the R34 GTR in the Mines livery. Not a hard kit to find. You can still find the last reissue of it pretty easily. I think it was, 6-8 months when it was reissued last. But again, packaged into this new Tune model car series. And last, we have yet more wheels. So in the 19-inch wheel sets, you have the Volk T37s, Volk CE28Ns, Enki NTO 3 Plus M, and the Racing Heart CRs. Not that long ago, these were just reissued, again, another 6-8 months ago. But we're going to repackage them into the new marketing tuned part series. And then, last but not least, more 14-inch wheel sets. And these are some, again, not seen for a while wheel sets. And they are the Techno TRVs. And then 3 sets of wheels that are just labeled as Mach 1, Mach 2, and Mach 3. Mach 1 is sort of like a steel wheel, but like a centerline drag kind of steel wheel. That kind of wheel. It's not like a steel wheel in the sense of like a spare tire or a non-hubcap steel wheel. This is more in the vein of like I said, a centerline drag style wheel, where it is a smooth face with just the lug nuts and the hub, rather than it being a steel wheel, what you traditionally would think of. The Mach 2 is sort of star pattern in the Mach 3 is sort of a mesh wheel. I don't know who makes those wheels, and again, right now, don't care, because I don't build things that use those 14-inch wheels with the big gumball tires, but I know that a lot of people out there who watch these videos love those wheels for their builds, and so we will, of course, mention them. And guys, that is the Shizouka Hobby Show. Now, the actual hobby show itself is taking place in a little less than a month. It's going to be the second weekend of May, running from Thursday to Sunday. I think Thursday, Friday, it's just vendors and industry. Saturday, Sunday, it's open to the public. If you happen to be in Shizuoka in that weekend, but that weekend we'll probably hold the show over to Monday if it doesn't already just run late as it is, because we'll do all the picture stuff as we can get it, to sort of give you pictures of all the Skyline updates, the Liberty Walk GTR, the hopefully maybe we'll see some 2002 BMW action from Masagawa, because right now all you got for that are some 3D files. The Jimny is already built up. The N360 is already built up as far as having final run test shots built and shown. So like those two kits are going to be, they're going to come out on time because they're done. The BMW 2002, I'm sure, has been worked on, behind the scenes for months and months and months. But right now, like I said, all you see are 3D render files of it, not actual, plastic or even 3D print. So looking forward to seeing that sort of, in the flesh, if you will, in the pictures. The Brabham, we've seen test shots of it here and there, but we've not seen an actual assembled build of that either. So it'll be interesting to see that for the F1 guys. And then, of course, the Diablo GTR, like I said, we've already seen the builds of that. So we know that's coming. We know that was around. And, pretty much, I guess, really covers it, because everything else is pretty much just reissues into the new model car lineup. They really did, like I said, work the Skylines. Interesting to see they made them all factory stock, rather than none of them being sort of in the two model car lineup, none of them being anything other than factory stock. Be interesting if maybe the fall they're all going to get redone as tuner cars or not. But in the meantime, I thought this was a good little smattering. I got my orders in already. Of course, I'm going to get the Jimny, the N360, the Liberty Walk, the Diablo GTR, the updated Crown, duh. And then I'm going to buy, and even though I know these are all Best Car Vintage kits, and they're all going to have motorized chassis, pieces and parts, they're all going to be, like I said, not that great in that sense of the chassis building off, the interior building off the top of the chassis, and things like that. I did go ahead and put in pre-orders for all of the modified Skylines, because you can't live in just GTRs alone. You gotta spread out the love into the regular Skylines. I have a lot of the regular Skylines as it is, and I'll give them a shot. Worst case comes to worst, I'll hate them and sell them. So be that as it may. I don't really get into the wheel sets. None of them really interest me. None of the two model car stuff interests me. I already have a Minus GTR, and that would be the only thing that really tripped my trigger. So it'd be interesting to see what else happened for the rest of the year, because there's some stuff that is not on these lists that we sort of kind of know about. So we'll be back with our regular show. It's not going to be Friday at this point, obviously, by the time you see this. But that'll cover the second, third quarter Revell Flyer, as well as all the kit releases and aftermarket releases and all sorts of other stuff like that. And if you're into that sort of thing, hope you had a great holiday weekend. Whether you celebrated or you're just enjoying the holiday weekend for what it is, regardless of your religious affiliation. Obviously, the Jewish faith, a little ahead of the Christian faith in terms of what this weekend meant, but regardless as to your affiliation or your non-affiliation, hope you have a great weekend. We'll see you guys on the other side.